We would be fools for having asked why men and women in love do what they do. I never met anybody like her. She was absolutely fascinating. Everything she said and did was right. It was really an infatuation. I finally found somebody I could communicate with. I had never let a woman inside me like that. I ended up telling her more about my life than I had told other people. There was a purity about our relationship that had never existed with any other woman that I had been involved with. I have the same dream every night. How I grabbed her by the wrist and threw her backward against the wall. How I grimaced in anguish and hit her as hard as I could right across her face, sending her spinning around and then knocking her against the dining room table. I had hit her for the first and only time. She began to cry. Her face hurt, but the look in my eyes hurt her much more. At that moment, she did not recognize me. I was somebody else. I had been somebody else for a long time. She was staring hell in my eyes, and hell did not blink. I had hit rock bottom, the place where there was no return. I had been there before and had returned, but this time I had enough weight to keep myself down forever. Nothing in my life had ever been worth one hair on her head. If God ever made an angel, it was her. Never. I never thought it could happen. Everything else, but not this. And I did it to myself. She would have sold her body to anyone if she genuinely thought she could turn my life around. In fact, it was absolutely clear to everyone that she loved me as much as one human could love another. But when I hit her, her whole center of life had just collapsed into a million pieces right in front of her eyes. Her protector, her beloved, had become her tormentor, a threat to her very life. I'd gotten so crazy that I started to do bad things to the only person in the world who really cared whether I lived or died. Most painful of all, she saw that she could not do a single thing for me. So when she left, she might have really and truly thought she was doing me a favor. When we first met, I gave the impression of being in control. She thought I would give the orders, think the big thoughts, dream the big dreams. When her world began to fall in upon her, she was too scared of me, of the world that had beaten me. She did not have the strength to stay with me and fight me to save myself. She did what people do when they are afraid. She fled. To think I had once been blind and now could see. I was awakening from a trance. I had been a sleepwalker in a terrible nightmare, and now I was wide awake. I miss her so very much, but it makes me happy to know that someone can still get out of this trap.